Good morning, students. Welcome to your English class. Hope so all of you are doing well. Let's begin with today's English class. Today's topic is chapter number 13, Subject and Predicate, that is on page number 90. And today we will cover till page number 92. And it's from your new Learner's English Grammar and Composition book. So, children, all of you, please take out your book and turn to page 90 and get ready with your pencils. So, today we are going to read and learn about subject and predicate. Now, children, first it's very important for us to understand what is the meaning of subject and what is the meaning of predicate. So, subject and predicate, first of all, they are the two parts of a sentence. So, when we talk about sentence, we always have a subject and a predicate. The subject tells us who or what the sentence is about, and predicate tells us what is happening in the sentence. Now, here we will take an example. You can see the example that is given to us is the busy bee flew around the flowers. So, children, in order to find the subject and the predicate, the simplest way is to ask the question who. So, if we ask the question who flew around the flowers, so we will get the answer the busy bee. So, the busy bee will become your subject. And what did the busy bee do? What is the what did the busy bee do? If you ask the question, you will get the answer flew around the flowers. So that is your predicate. So your subject is the busy bee and your predicate will be flew around the flowers. Okay? Now let's discuss in details. All of you will turn to page number 90. Let's do. So everyone, children, will write classwork and write down today's date. You can see there is an exercise. Let's do. What we have to do here? We have to divide the sentences below into two parts. Each part should give you some meaning. Okay? So let's begin with it. The first sentence is my grandmother tells me stories at bedtime. So we have to ask the question who tells you stories at bedtime? My grandmother. So my grandmother becomes your subject and tells me stories at bedtime becomes your predicate. So that is how you are going to divide it. So after my grandmother, you are going to draw a slash or a slanted line. Next sentence is my dad jumps up 5 feet. So who jumps up 5 feet? The answer is my dad. So after my dad, you will put a slash. Then that becomes your subject and jumps up 5 feet becomes your predicate. Next, my grandfather loves me very much. Who loves you very much? The answer is my grandfather. So my grandfather is your subject. So you will draw a slanted line or a slash after my grandfather and loves me very much is your predicate. Next sentence. My mom plays chess with me. So, who plays chess with you? Your mom. So, my mom will become your subject. After that, you will put a slash and then you will and then comes plays chess with me, which becomes your predicate. So, I hope so. It's clear to all of you. Now, children, on the same page, we have got a column. So, you can see in the column you have got the doer of the action and the action done. So this is very important. So everyone will underline sentences have two parts. The doer of the action means who does the action, by whom the work is done, and the action done or the work that is done. So let's read the given sentences below and notice their subject and verb parts. So doer of the action will become your subject and the action done becomes your verb part or predicate. So here you can see the first one, Jack and Jill is the subject, went up the hill is the work done or the action that is done. Two little dicky birds is your subject or the doer of the action. What did they do? Sat on a wall. So that is the action done. I caught a fish alive. So who caught a fish alive? Yes, the doer is I. And what did the doer do? Caught a fish alive. Next, the cow jumped over the moon. So who jumped over the moon? The cow. So the cow is the doer of the action, one who does the action. And what did the cow do? It jumped over the moon. So that is the action done. Next, I have been to London. So who have been to London? Yes, I. So I is the doer of the action. And what did I do? I have been to London. So have been to London is the work done or the action done. So children, the subject, this is also very important, that should be underlined and learnt. The subject is the person or thing the sentence is about. The verb part starts from the verb and it is called the predicate. So the predicate always will start from the verb. Like you can note, went up the hill. It starts from the word went, which is the verb of the sentence. Sat on a wall. Sat is the verb of the sentence. So it will always start with the verb part. Okay. A verb stands for the action in a sentence. So we all know that verb is a doing word. It shows us action. A verb always stands for the action in the sentence. Who does the action? The main nouns or pronouns do action in the sentence. Therefore, they are called the subject of a sentence. So, mainly the subject of a sentence is a noun or a pronoun. Okay. So, I hope so it is very clear to you because the concepts are very, very simple. Now, let's move to page number 91. So, we will do let's practice. So, what we have to do here, in the sentence given below, the subject and the predicate have been separated. Join the subject with its matching predicate by drawing arrows. So, you will not draw lines because it doesn't look good, but you will simply write down the numbers by the side. So, let's start. So you can see in one column we have got the subject and on other column we have got the predicate. So what we have to do here? We have to match the subject with the correct predicate. So let's start with it. Number A, many people. So many people will match with option number 3, came to the NCC show. Many people will match with option number 3, came to the NCC show. So beside that you will write down A, small letter A. Next is number B, two young boys. Two young boys. So number B will match with number 4, led the NCC cadet. So it will match with number 4, led the NCC cadet. So beside number 4 you will write down small letter B. Number C, the cadet will match with number 5, showed different tricks. Number C will match with number 5, showed different tricks. Let's move to number D. The crowd will match with number 1, cheered the cadet. The crowd cheered the cadet. So number D will match with number 1. So you will write D beside number 1. Now let's move to the last one, that is E. The crowd will match with number 2 left at the end of the show. So you will write E beside number 2 left at the end of the show. So your sequence will be D, E, A, B and C. So I hope so you all have completed it. Now on the same page you will see let's learn. So here are some very simple steps for finding out the subject and predicate from a sentence. Now let's see how we have to do it. The following steps help to divide a sentence into its subject and predicate. So first of all, find the verb in the sentence. So what is our first work? We have to find out the verb, the doing word in the sentence. In the sentences given at the beginning of the chapter, verbs have been shown in italics. So it has written in a slanted manner. Number 2, the verb part starts from the first verb. Like we have just now discussed, went up the hill, sat on the wall, have been to London. So the words went, sat, have are the first verbs. Number 3, we have to ask a question using the verb part. The answer to the question is the subject of the sentence. Suppose if we have the question, if we have the sentence, Jack and Jill went up the hill. So we will ask the question, who went up the hill, right? So we will get the answer, Jack and Jill. So Jack and Jill will become the subject of my sentence. So what do we learn about the subject from all these steps? The subject is someone or something that does the action in the sentence. So the subject is the doer of the action. So I hope so this much is clear to you. Now let's move to page number 92. So let's practice. So this is an exercise which we will do now. Number 1, we have to read the story given below and divide the sentences into their subject and predicate parts by drawing a line between the two parts. So you have to draw a slanted line and we have to divide the subject and predicate from the sentences given to us. So the first sentence is number A shepherd found a baby wolf. So first question we have to ask, who found a baby wolf? Yes, the answer is a shepherd. So after a shepherd, you will draw a slanted line and you will divide the sentence. So a shepherd is the doer of the action and found a baby wolf is your predicate. So a shepherd is your subject and after that you will draw a slanted line and found a baby wolf is your predicate. Number B, the shepherd brought the wolf home. So who brought the wolf home? The shepherd. So again after the shepherd you will draw a slanted line because it is the subject and brought the wolf home is your predicate. Number C, he taught the wolf to steal sheep from other people. So what did he teach the wolf? Who taught the wolf to steal sheep from other people? Yes, he. So he is your subject. So after he you will draw a slanted line. After he you will draw a slanted line because it is the subject and taught the wolf to steal sheep from other people is your predicate. Let's move to number D. The wolf told him this. So who told him this? The wolf. So the wolf is the subject. So after wolf you will draw a slanted line and told him this will become your predicate. Let's move to number E. You have taught me to steal. So who has taught me to steal? Who has taught him to steal? You. So you is your subject. So after you will draw a slanted line. Have taught me to steal is the predicate. Number F. I may also steal some ship for you. So who may steal ship for you for him? I. So I is the subject. So after I draw a slanted line. May also steal some ship from you is your predicate. Last one, that is number G. The shepherd learnt his lesson from the wolf. So who learnt his lesson from the wolf? The shepherd. So again, the shepherd, after the shepherd you will draw a slanted line as it is the subject. Learnt his lesson from the wolf is your predicate. So I hope so it is all clear to all of you. So number A, shepherd is the subject. Number B, again, the shepherd is the subject. Number C, he is the subject. Number D, the wolf is the subject. Number E, you is the subject. Number F, I is the subject. And number G, the shepherd is the subject. So, what did we learn about subject and predicate? Subject and predicate are two parts of a sentence, and the subject always tells us who or what the sentence is about, or who is the doer of the action, what is the sentence about, and predicate tells what the subject does or is. So, the subject is the doer of the action, shows us the doer, tells us about the doer of the action, who or what the sentence is about, and the predicate tells us the action that is done. So, predicate tells us what is the action done by the subject or the doer of the action. So that is all about subject and predicate today. So I hope so the concepts are clear to you. Please read the concepts well and learn them and complete your exercise neatly in your book. So this much for today's English class. Thank you, children.